Welcome to the only place where real, raw, and vulnerable conversations happen with IFBB Bikini Pros to give you an inside look at their struggles, strategies, mindset, passions, and all of life beyond the stage. This podcast is made to inspire, motivate, and remind competitors and the average gym goer that even the most extreme lifestyles and elite athletes have their ups and downs. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm your host, Celeste Rains-Turk, and now it's time for the Confessions of a Bikini Pro podcast. Today, I am talking with a woman who has such a passion for this sport and industry, not just as an IFBB Bikini Pro, of course, but also as an athlete manager for Raw Nutrition, a posing coach, and someone who has been all in on competing since she first stepped on stage in 2021. She made a huge splash by winning the overall at her very first show, then took a full 3-year off season, proving just how much she believes in the power of long-term development, which we're going to be talking quite a bit about today to encourage y'all. And she returned in 2024 to not only win the overall at her national qualifier, but also then earned first place in her class at USA's and secured her IFBB Pro card. So I am really looking forward to this episode. This is a very impressive young woman. Welcome to the show, Gemma Nanista. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm honestly can't tell you enough how excited I am to be on this. Like, I remember when I first started and I listened to this podcast. So it's like a complete like full circle for me. So it's just like a surreal moment. Like, honestly, I'm just so honored to like be a part of this and to have my own episode. It's something I've always dreamed of, honestly.
That's so amazing. Like
Yeah.
hearing that is very humbling for me, in so many ways, just to know that the platform I have for athletes not only inspires people who listen, but it ends up creating so many full circle moments. Like I
Mhm.
then get the opportunity to share the platform with the people who've been listening for so long and showing support for the podcast. It's just a beautiful, I think it's a representation of what the industry can do for people.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing, honestly, and it's such a tight-knit community and it's awesome.
Thank you. So I gotta ask you, what is something you do, think about, or maybe a ritual you have right before your heel hits the stage?
Honestly, I really try to make friends backstage. Like, no matter what, I'm like, I will like hype up some girl. Like, I just love making it feel like it's just another day in the life, you know? I mean, now my fiance coaches me, so just having him at like on my back and just having him there really does like calm me down. But really, I just really try to make friends with the girls backstage. I feel like it helps ease me and it also eases other people. Like, I had so many people after USA's being like, wow, like you just like had so much energy and you calmed me down and you're just like so fun to talk about. Because at the end of the day, like, yes, there's nerves, but it's fun. Like, it's still a hobby, it's still something that we do because we love it. And like, why not make friends with the other people around you? Like, it just makes being on stage that much better because there's no like button heads. It's just you guys are just enjoying the moments together.
I could not agree more. I think that that's one of the best parts about this sport too is, and you were a volleyball player, so I'll use
Yeah.
volleyball because I played too. Do you ever remember like you'd go to like do the high fives at the beginning of the game and
Yes.
some people
Yes.
would do
The
like
best.
yeah, and but some people would treat it like it was like a fight, like they were
Yes.
getting back at you, and others it was like fun and playful. So I think of it a lot like that. Like you can create these positive connections with people who think like you, are like you, have probably a lot of similar and shared values as you. They're not your competition. They are on stage, but they're not really your competition. The judges are the ones who are
For
creating the
sure.
competition.
And even then, it's like going back to volleyball, it's like the best team wins, like they
Yes.
whoever it's the winner is whoever messes up like the least amount. That's based on performance. Up there, it's so subjective. Like, anyone can look at anyone and be like, that's the clear winner in their eyes, especially as you get into the pro level. And it's like it's not like, oh, I outperformed you. I scored 10 times more points than you. It's literally, a panel that you have no control over. The only thing you can do is just show up as your best. And that's what everyone else is doing. So I never really understood I'm competitive by nature because of sports, but I never really understood like having that tension between the other competitors because it's totally out of our control who really wins that day. You can peak your best, you can come in the most conditioned, you can take years off training. It's all up to the people that you see in front of you. So I never really truly understood like why not make friends with the people next to you, you know?
Totally. Yeah, they're not your enemy and they can become like some of my a lot of my closest friends are because of this sport. And I recently competed in Pittsburgh and just being like backstage, you're lined up. It was fun to just talk with people and we did the like you walk out first and do like your for group one comparison.
Yeah.
And I remember like we got off stage and me and the girl next to me were just like, oh my gosh, that was such a rush. Like it was amazing and it was fun. And everyone was like, wow, like we got our jitters out together. And it was a really cool experience. Like I actually made friends from the women I competed with. And I really value that about this community. It
For
is
sure.
so incredible. And you had obviously played volleyball. You have this competitive spirit in you. You want to do your best. And you have had a lot of success in this. But what is it that made you go, I'm gonna leave behind my collegiate volleyball offer
Yeah.
and pursue bodybuilding, which by the way, that's exactly what I did. So I'm like really curious to hear about your journey.
Man, when I tell you that I was obsessed with volleyball, like I was obsessed. Like I breathed it. I never like in high school up into college, like I never went to parties. Like I was travel volleyball every weekend. I traveled the country to do camps again in front of coaches. Like it was my all. And I think that was one of the reasons why I left it was because it was my all. And
Mm.
I remember like I'll never forget this. I was in Italy, you know, I was visiting my sister, she was studying abroad, and I sat down on this train and I was just like thinking to myself, I had my mom like across the way from me, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. I'm burnt out. I'm so like it I did not have a successful volleyball career whatsoever. We lost game after game, and I put all that pressure on myself because I was the type of person that would practice before my practice. I would go to the courts at 5 a.m. and just practice my serving over and over and over again, and just tried so hard to really like prove myself. But in a team sport, that's hard because you touch the ball once and then the rest is out of your control. But
Mhm.
you put the pressure on yourself when you try that hard that you have to carry the team and it's not your job. And I just got so burnt out because I was just so mentally dumb of just putting that pressure and burden on myself and personally carrying each loss. And I'm done. And I loved it so much. And I'll never forget my mom saying this. She's like, you loved it so much that you just kept squeezing it and you choked it out. And I was like, oh, like I did. I choked out that dream.
Mm.
And even now, like I can't even really watch volleyball on like TV or anything because
I'm the
I
same.
can't. I get so upset because I think about like what it could have been. And I'm I'm grateful for it because it taught me that drive and discipline that I have now, where it's like, no matter what, you're gonna get up and do the shit, even if you don't want to do the shit. And it's like, that's what happens with bodybuilding. Someone's always gonna outwork you. No matter what, there's someone that's you may weigh it as like 151 grams of rice, they're weighing it 150 grams of rice. And it's like, it's one of those things where like you just constantly have to outwork yourself. And I'm grateful that volleyball taught me that. But I still want to be an athlete, as most athletes that leave their sports do. And this one of my closest guy friends was like, dude, like you should totally just get into competing. And I was like, I'm never gonna do that. No, I won't do that. Like my sister's a figure skater for the longest time. I was like, I'm never gonna get in a sparkly dress. Like that's not me. Like
Mm.
I played hockey and volleyball. Like that is me. And then I really just kept training and I was like, actually, you know what? Like, yeah, like I think I can do this. And that's kind of how I just got into bodybuilding was just like, I just want to still be an athlete. And because like of how much, like, yes, like volleyball was like a turning point for me, but it taught me so much that carried over into bodybuilding now that I'm thankful that it didn't work out. So
Mm.
that's kind of how I put it behind me. It was like, okay, like I'm taking the lessons, like, yes, it's bittersweet, but I learned so much from it. And I think that's just what made me so successful up until now.
That's really amazing. There's so many directions I want to take this
Yeah.
because your journey has obviously brought a lot of lessons
Hmm.
and it's also relatable for me, and I know a lot of other people too who come from an athletic background. I can relate to volleyball being this thing where you put a lot of pressure on yourself, especially if your team's
Hmm.
not doing well. Like, I was like, why does no one on my team care about winning like I do? Like, why am I the only one taking this seriously? Like, why? Now, in club, it was a little bit different for me. I had like really great teams, but in high school, I was like, I'm like the only one who gives a shit.
Yeah, and I love my girls. Like they're still close friends to me, but even with my club team, like I could not win. And my mom was like, "Your time will come, your season will come." And I was like why? Like I'm working my ass off. Like why am I not rewarded? And she's like, "Just be patient. Like it may not be this, but your time is going to come." And I was like, I was so angry. I was like, "How could you say that? Like you see me working so hard for this. Like how could you say that like maybe this isn't my time?" And
Hmm.
like I remember thinking back like God, not that long ago, maybe like 6 months ago, being like, "Ah, this is my time," she was talking about. Like this is what my purpose wasn't volleyball as much as I wanted it to be. My purpose is this because this just comes so easily to me.
Yeah, for real. And look at what it's done in your life.
Yeah.
Additionally, like maybe you wouldn't be posing coach. I mean, you would absolutely not be posing coaching. You
Yeah.
would not be working for Raw. Maybe you would if you were going down that path for college. But
Yeah.
what did
I
you study
mean,
in college, by the way?
exercise physiology.
Okay,
So,
so maybe, but still, this is more like management of a team.
yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, I hated coaching. I tried coaching for,
Really?
lifestyle. I tried personal training. I hated it. I think it's, and I love Mike, my fiance. I mean, like, he's a coach. He's a coach on Camp Jansen, but I saw the way it burnt him out of bodybuilding. I was like, I can't, I'm selfish with it. This is my, I protect it. I center my day around it. It's like, I'll do anything to protect it. And when I was just coaching other people or in the gym, personal training, I was like, this is ruining my spark. Like, I'm in the gym. I can't have that. I'm big on separation between like work and life. And it just felt like I was at the gym 24/7. I go back, I'm doing my online clients. It's gym and fitness 24/7. It's like I can't escape it. And I just always have that fear of being burnt out because of volleyball. And I was like, I can't do this. I don't enjoy it. This isn't what I want to do. It's not for me. As much as like everyone thinks because you're in the fitness space, because you're a competitor, whatever this, you need to be a coach. No, like you don't. Like that's not the end all be all. And honestly, bodybuilding isn't your entire life. Bodybuilding also too isn't even your entire day. You're at the gym for what, 2 hours max? And maybe you're doing cardio at most in prep for like an hour and a half. Other than that, that's what, 3.5 hours out of your day at most when you're deep in prep, off season, maybe 20 minutes of cardio. Like it's not everything. And I just loved having something where I could be like, this is also another outlet. Because bodybuilding's an outlet for me, yes. But when you're so deep into it, you need another outlet. Otherwise, your whole life is going to be centered around it, and there's no shut off. It's just always going to be that. And even with my conversation with Mike, it was gym, 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 gym. And it's like, no, like I need something else to talk about. So I was like, I'm going to go into marketing. I'm going to go into social media management. Like that is something that I can have that shut off and have bodybuilding be my time. So I was like, I'm just going to flip the switch.
Heck yeah. Ooh, I love that. Now, let's go back to that chokehold grip because
Mm-hmm.
you just mentioned that again, and I'm like, that's something I want to talk to you about. Have you felt bodybuilding get threatened at all by that Because obviously it's in you. You have that grind mentality. You have
Yes.
that I am going to be better no matter what, and I'm going to show up early to do so and stay later to do so. So, have you felt that that type A, as you've called it, athlete of yourself has ever posed a threat to your bodybuilding journey?
100%. And so I definitely felt that way, honestly, after turning pro. I kind of
Really?
felt it. I did not, it took, I like, I imagined turning pro. I've imagined this scenario over and over and over again. I've written it down on a piece of paper over and over and over again. I'm big into manifesting and writing it down. Like, that's something I've always done. It's always worked, and that's that. But after my show, I was like, I did not get emotional like I thought I did. I was
Mm.
like, I did not cry. I worked my ass off for this for years. I didn't cry. I didn't. I had that one week where I felt maybe I was on sky high and then deep down. And I was like, I got to the point where I was like, because I didn't feel like I was as emotional as I should have been, I felt like I was like, am I done with, do I love this? Like
Mm.
I'm getting that burnt out feeling and I couldn't understand why. And like I almost like kind of like I pushed back my pro debut, which I'm so happy with. But I was like, I need to like kind of like figure this out. And I really started talking to like honestly a sports psychologist like pretty recently, which is very not heard of in the industry. Like I don't know many people that really talk about there's therapists, but no one really talks about like the sports psychology side of it.
I do. That's my
Yeah.
job.
I love
Clinical
it.
mental health counseling.
I love it. And it's equally as important. And it's honestly something I wish I did when I was in sports, but I was like, I'm too hard on myself. Like anything less than I imagine is like a failure to me. And like, it's always future stuff. Like, it's always like you're always preparing for the future. The things you do today isn't for today, it's for what you could look like or could be 6 months from now. And that gets very mentally taxing. And I was like, I'm just feeling so burnt out of just being like, I feel like I do one movement wrong in the gym and like I'm in pain or whatever it is. And that's, I get burnt out from that. Like, I'm just like, I feel like that session's deemed as like failed because of one movement when the rest of my session was great. That one movement, it's like, that's going to prevent me from being great in 7 or 8 months from now. So it was something that was really hard for me to work around because again, like it's not talked about like that. It's like you everyone posts their highlight reels on Instagram and this and that, the best pump they've had in their lives and their glutes changing in 3 months. And it's like, damn, like what am I doing wrong? But
Hmm.
it's no one ever obviously shows like, okay, the session that they cut off 20 minutes in because they didn't feel good or whatever it is. So I felt that comparison of everything really burning me out and more so along the lines of like the internal pressure I was putting on myself was a lot different than I felt before. And it wasn't the burnout I felt with volleyball. It was a complete different burnout that was self-sabotaged in a way. So I was like, I need to get a hold on this. And I reached out to my sports psychologist and I was like, hey, like this is what it is. It's not show day, it's not competing. It's like the stuff that I'm doing in my off season, not the fact that it's repetitive, but it's the fact that I'm so focused on the future that it's ruining the present. And that was the closest, like these honestly, the switch was pretty recently where I felt that huge fire in me again. I was like, ah, yes, like I feel like as excited as I do now when I first started competing, when I dreamed of
Wow.
competing. So it's a total three, like 180, like of how I felt even like 3 months from now. And it's, yeah, but it's a complete different feeling. It's not fear, it's just love.
What
Yeah.
was it that changed in your day-to-day habits or thought processes?
Just reminding myself that it's fun. You forget the fun, you forget why you do it. It's like most of us start competing because you love training. And I love training. And I had to take a big step back from how I like to train because you're training for a specific reason. Like bikini is like, okay, I've maxed out my quad growth. Wow. I loved pressing heavy shit. Like I love squatting heavy. Like that was what I loved doing. And now it's very fine tuned, like only using your glutes, booty bands, waist trainer, all this stuff, such fine tuning. I was like, this also isn't what it is, but learning that it's just fun. At the end of the day, you're going into gyms. This is something you love doing. You love training. Doesn't matter what it looks like. Doesn't matter how it's changed. It's all for the same purpose as the fact that you love just training and it's fun at the end of the day. You know, you have your friends with it. It's just, it's a hobby. Like it's not my entire life. It's not the end all be all. It's just a fun hobby that I do. So even during my training sessions, I have to remind myself if I get frustrated, I'm like, no, 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 this is fun. Like you're having fun. Like you're doing what you love doing because it's so easy. Everyone compares bodybuilding. Oh, it's a full-time job. It's a full-time job. I see it every time. Like you need to treat it like a
Mhm.
full-time job. And it's not. This is just something you have fun doing. So that's helped a lot is switching that mentality. I still am doing the same daily habits that I do. My meals are always at the same time, like always taking my same supplements, but just the switch on how I look at everything has helped dramatically.
That's so perfect and amazing just to be able to have that shift in
Mhm.
thinking and see how much it impacts what you're doing and how you experience what you're doing and being able to be more present in each day. And I
Yeah.
know that a lot of times that mindset is not exclusive to one area of our life. A lot of times that it can show up in other ways. Like, did you ever experience that same, if it's not this way, then it's wrong or it's not good enough or okay.
Always like that's just I don't know. It's just like the type A or just like the fear of what's outside my control that brings you to that level. But man, like it's like if it's even like with check-in photos, it's like I always will compare myself to like other competitors. I'm like, no, like I don't want to be, like X, Y, and Z. Like I want to be me. Like that's my physique. Like I'm not gonna look like this other person because that's just not me. And it's like that's just something that's so far out of your control. You let it just like because I don't look like this person, I don't think I'm good enough. But no one else looks like that person. It's like why am I less deserving than that person is because they're at the top level or whatever it is. This it's just crazy how the mind can just like sabotage you like that and it's your own mind.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And with your value of keeping work and life separate, if you don't relieve that pressure valve, essentially, it will eventually blow, right? That's where you will
Yes.
get burnt out. That's where you will potentially become resentful. And you mentioned something that there's two things you mentioned that I want to go back to. So one was you couldn't just talk about bodybuilding. You didn't want to just talk about bodybuilding, even with your fiance. So how has that transformed for you to have other interests and other like seeing it as a hobby versus like your life?
It's helped out a lot, honestly. Like it to be able like yes, we do still talk about bodybuilding. That's a big center of our life, but to come home and be like, now I'm in marketing. Now I'm in a whole different realm. I have no experience in this. I never did. I never went to school with it. I jumped into it. I did freelance work and now like I moved up into like an athlete management side. So I'm in like the complete flip of the industry. Like most athletes are trying to be an athlete on the team.
Right.
I'm the one managing them. So it's cool to come home and talk about the different side of the industry that not a lot of people see. And it keeps it interesting in that way. So yes, some conversations are still a little bit like that, but being able to talk about like the photography side of things, like I'm watching these guys set up cameras and videos like it's a movie set and learning that aspect of things or learning graphic design. Like I'm learning every single day and it just makes it so much more enjoyable because again, I'm seeing the opposite side of the industry that not a lot of people get to see. And
Mhm.
to be able to learn from that and just try out new things on my own and learning a different avenue has been great. Like I come home, I'm like, guess what I made today on like Canva, and like I get so excited because I'm like, I don't know graphic design, but I'm learning, and I don't know. Like I've made my first contract with an athlete. I made my first like call with like an athlete or like all these other cool people that I'm meeting, and being able to come home and be like, oh my God, like I met like Brett Wilkin, or like I know Nick Walker, or I know Chris Bumstead. It's like to come home and like share that with him in some way. It's so cool because you look up to these people, and now it's like, hey, I know you. And to be able to talk about that is cool. It's real. I can't lie and say it's not the coolest
Of
thing ever, but
course.
it's so separate from being like, oh, the gym today was rough, or,
Mm.
this client's really pissing me off, or when are we going to start prep? It's
Yeah.
different, so it's cool because it's almost parallel. It doesn't ever cross, but it's parallel. So it's been fun. It's been really fun.
That's a good way to look at it. And I want to eventually talk more about your separation of like fiance and coach, like how you guys do
Mm,
that. But before that, I am dying to ask you about like your initial mentality. It was, I'll never put on a sparkly dress, right?
yeah.
Um, did bodybuilding like bring out femininity in you in some ways?
Yes, for sure. Like when I fought my mom tooth and nail with figure skating. She always swore I could be her Olympic figure skater. I was like, that's not me. I went hunting with my dad. I was fishing. I always, because my sister and my mom are both figure skaters, I was always with my dad. So I grew up very tomboy. Like I was doing archery as a kid. Like I competed in archery, like fencing. Like I was just doing like guy stuff. And even now, it's like, I mean, I'm one of the only like females at the office, and I'm just one of the boys. Like that's just always how I've been. So when I first started into competing, I was like, I actually feel like I'm unlocking a new femininity in me. I'm like, like my hair and makeup's done. Like I feel
Hmm.
like a princess. Like I'm sure everyone says you feel like a princess on show day, but I was like, I've never really unlocked this side of me before. I never did like pageants or anything like that. Like I to this day don't know how to do my makeup. I always relied on my sister. Never thought I would need to learn it myself, but yeah, just the way I felt and seeing myself like build the muscle I have and all this stuff, I'm like, oh, like, damn, like I actually am like, damn, I look good in a dress. And now I'm like, I feel like I'm reaching a level of like femininity that I never did when I was younger. And I love it. Like I've done more photo shoots than I ever thought I would. I hated being on camera. And now I'm like doing beach photo shoots or this and that. And, my style and clothing has changed. The way I decorate my house has changed. Like it's helped me feel so feminine. And like I still have like my tomboy side, especially when it comes to training, which I think that's what's helped out a lot. Or like I'll show up to the gym in sweatpants and sweatshirt, but definitely how I present myself and carry myself is more of like that badass feminine energy than just being like, oh, I'm like a little tomboy that's
For
never
sure.
touched nail polish before in my life.
For sure. Well, did you have any discomfort with those changes, or were you like embracing it fairly
I
easily?
was embracing it fairly easily. Like I didn't know. Like posing came hard to me. Posing was so hard because it's like I didn't come do ballet, I didn't do figure skating. Like I don't know how flow and grace work. That's not me. I'm throwing myself on the ground, sacrificing myself for a ball. Like that's
Yeah,
me.
exactly.
So proposing was rough. And I worked with one of my friends who taught me how to pose for my first show. Then after that, like I really just taught myself. Like I picked stuff up from watching videos, like maybe going to like a few posing seminars here and there and picking up what I liked from each person that I learned from. And eventually I just kind of like just practice it like I did with volleyball, like every single day for hours on end. And I just eventually taught myself that flow and grace. And I still work with a posing coach now, as everyone should, but like it's definitely changed. I've seen myself evolve because I'm competing into this woman like I thought I couldn't reach.
Yeah.
So it was great. It's been awesome. Like I love feeling I used to be fear being like, oh, girly girl. I'm like, no, I'm a little girly pop now. Like that's who I
Yeah.
am.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we can struggle with is like if you have this identity of I'm a tomboy and I don't do this and I don't do that, then when you start like maybe putting on jewelry or getting your nails done or just even painting them or um, maybe, I don't know, not wearing like always t-shirts and
Yeah.
shorts, you almost sometimes you can get met with this judgment of like, or maybe imposter syndrome type feeling. So I think it's really cool that not only did you open yourself up to it, but bodybuilding kind of brought you into that more, and then you found your flow,
Yeah.
not mimicking one person, but witnessing it and then applying the principles to your own personality.
Yeah, definitely like for sure. And like it was always fine. Like everyone knew my sister and I like opposites. So my sister is the girly girl with everything now, and now it's like, oh, I'm blossoming. Like I've blossomed into like the same field as that. And she's like, oh, finally. And I was like, yeah, but it's been
Oh,
great. Like in the girls around, it's so good to have like a nice feminine support system. Like I can't tell you, like if you don't have that in your life, it's honestly crazy the difference it makes, like in how you feel about yourself, how you carry yourself into little aspects of your day, and even with how you present yourself. Like it was tough being in the office, being like one of the only girls in the office, but now like just because of competing and constantly having that nice supportive woman, it blossoms you into like this amazing human being. Like we're so
oh.
powerful.
Have you ever been told that you can't heal your relationship with food unless you stop competing? Or do you feel like a lost cause because every time you've tried to heal your relationship with food, you're always met with the same challenges, judgment, shame, and guilt? But you're ready to get to that root of your relationship with food and really understand your habits and behaviors and make lasting changes that are going to drive you forward in your competition goals as well as your life. And of course, if you don't want to stop competing in this sport that you love, but you also don't want to continue down the rabbit hole that is setting you back in your life, emotions, and potential for success on stage, I want you to know that you can get through this. And no, you do not have to stop competing in order to do so. You truly deserve to have successful preps, productive improvement seasons, and peace of mind year round. Because when your head is full of thoughts of food, eating, or guilt, you cannot invest that energy into the goals you truly care about, which is a big reason why I launched the 5-week food relationship program and why it has been my most highly demanded program to help competitors like yourself make peace with food so they can pursue the sport they love for the long run without having to worry about sacrificing their mental health. If you want to learn more about this program and hear from others who have done it, then visit www.celestial.fit/foodfreedom. Scroll through that page, get some information, and if you're inspired and you are ready to take action on this, go ahead and apply to work with me, and I will be getting back to you within 24 to 48 hours to go over your application and discuss your concerns specifically to determine if and how I can support you. Again, that is at www.celestial.fit/foodfreedom. Yes, I love that. And you have like other women speaking life into you and encouraging you. And it gives you this sense of like not just belonging, but this sense of strength and belief that maybe you wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yes, for sure.
So let's talk about, there's so much I want to talk to you about, and I hope we're good on time to do
Dude,
so.
you can keep going.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
Okay, cool. So, let's go into how you looked at training, actually, because you had just identified that you used to see it as like pushing weight, but recently you shifted to prioritizing like mind muscle control and using other tools because you've maxed out in certain things and just your mentalities had to change. So, can you tell us more about how your training has evolved and then how it's impacted your physique as a result?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, my fiance taught me how to train hard. Like he was like, you train like a bitch." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he's like, You need to train harder. Like you
What did
this
that look like?
it honestly looks similar to how I'm training now,
Huh.
but I wasn't intentional or intense with what I was doing. I was just like, okay, 3 sets of 15 done. Like no grimace, no anything. Just I hit my rep. That was it. And a lot of people do that in the beginning. If you need to be taught to train hard, it doesn't really come naturally, especially for me, because my perception of training hard is different than actually training hard. So he was training me in person for a little bit and like putting me through my sessions. And it just clicked one day. I was like, oh, like I'm killing myself in these sets now. Like, and that's just how it was. And I was getting up to like 7 plates aside on the leg press. And like, I was like pushing weight and like going beyond failure. Like I would have guys spot me and they're like, I thought you were done like 8 reps ago. And I was like, no, like I don't care how much you have to help me. Like I'm grueling past these last few reps. And I don't like, yes, like sure, was there a little bit of ego in there for sure. I don't regret that though, because it built the foundation that I have now and the density I have now. And I do think maybe a little bit more smarter, but like everyone should go through a phase like that, especially if you're trying to build. Because I made more progress in a year than most people have made in like 2, 3 years, just because I wasn't giving up on that set. Like you would have to pry me off of whatever machine I was on before like I stopped anytime soon. And it was just fun. Like honestly, just
Yeah, that
being
sounds cool.
strong like that was so fun. Having like people come up to the gym being like, damn, like was sick to me. Like being able to keep up the guys was so cool to
Mhm.
me. Like I was like, yeah, like this is training. Like not
Yeah.
being able to walk the next day and just feeling it, that's training. And I remember making the switch because I was like, okay, it's either we're gonna keep training like this and I'm gonna get too big for bikini and I'm gonna have to do okay, you wanna compete next year? Okay, cool. But if you get too big, like it's either you're gonna have to downsize or you're gonna have to take like 4 years off to try and grow into wellness. And I was like,
Hmm.
I would love to do wellness. Personally, if that was my choice, all for it. Mike says otherwise, but I'm all for it. I think it's badass. I would totally do it. But I was like, all right, training needs to change. And that was hard for me.
Mhm.
Mentally, very hard. I'm like making the switch to not push weights was very hard because I was like, I'm not doing enough to grow. That was my fear. That fear of losing
Yeah.
progress or not progressing is something that holds me back a lot mentally. But I remember like going to the gym for the first time at the new training session. I was like, what is this? Like this isn't training. Like I have the booty band on. I'm doing everything I was told not to do beforehand, but now I'm doing it. And it felt honestly, now I'm in the rhythm of it and it feels awesome. Like I'm actually using the muscles I'm supposed to be using. Nothing's compensating. Like before it was 50-50 leg glute, now it's 100% glute. And my physique has transformed. But I'm still intense with it. It's just a different style of intensity and I have intention with everything. Like I close my eyes and I visualize the muscle I'm working, and it's been awesome. My body doesn't feel as wrecked as well, so it's happy, but it's been an awesome change, and it wasn't something I was open to in the beginning. And but I learned to be open to it, and it's been the best switch ever. Like my glutes have like just gotten so much more dense off of it. Like it's actually crazy how much my back pose has changed in like a 5 month span. And I recently just started doing this program not even 2 months ago, and it's a huge difference. So yeah, it's been a time. I actually enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would.
That's so amazing. Well, that goes back to your earlier point about having fun with it. And sounds like by engaging so much more of that mind muscle connection, you're actually like more present in the moment and you're
Yes.
finding like new enjoyments. And you said like there was a part of you that was like, I wonder if this is going to impede on my progress or my development. But you're finding that the opposite is
Yeah.
true. And you've obviously demonstrated that there is a lot of power in taking time off. I mean, based on your transformations and the improvements you've showcased all throughout your improvement seasons, as well as like from show to show, you had earned your pro card after 3 years away. So I think that is a tangible evidence, of course, aside from your physique, which is tangible, but you walked away with the pro card. So what have you implemented as far as like nutrition and supplementation programming to support muscle building and continuously bringing your best also?
So honestly, I'll start with supplementation. All of my like off seasons, I've been in a health phase for the majority of it. I have shit health genetics, honestly. Like I have
What does
Hashimoto,
that mean?
I have
A health.
like health, so my hormones. So
Mm.
I have Hashimoto. We found that out a few like 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Have a very hard time getting my estrogen progesterone levels up. I'm on TRT, estrogen, and progesterone.
Oh.
And like I need it, honestly, and T3, like in order to function. If not, like I won't. I didn't have a period up until, and it's still funky, up until last year. The last time I had it was when I was like 17. So, and I think it's genetic because my mom had horrible fertility issues. So it's just something where it's like, hey, if I'm going to be this in the long term, I need to do this as healthy as possible. And with an autoimmune, it's so much better to take time off because your body's constantly attacking itself in some way, shape, or form, and it's under stress constantly. So all of my improvement phases have been a health phase. Like this year, I dealt with a lot of mold issues and I have worked that out. Like I was not on a cycle. I honestly, up until my prep, wasn't on a cycle of anything. The longest I ever did one in off season was like 3 weeks, and then we pulled it because I had to go into a health phase. So I does it help to be on a cycle? Yes, for sure. You can make so much improvements with that. But I spent most of my time just training hard, making sure my diet and everything was in line. Do I do free meals? Sure. Have I done more than I probably should have in the off season? Absolutely. I'm still making memories of those, but the rest of my week is so on point with every little thing. And I'm just training as hard as possible, making sure my sleep is good, getting my hormones and blood work in line. So I'm making sure my body's functioning. Just helped me out so much. Like that's how I made all my improvements. Like, and did it take more time? Yeah, for sure. If I did more off-season cycles or if I did a longer one, could I have made more improvements in a short amount of time? Possibly. But all of my off seasons have been no supplement, barely anything, just training hard, being in a surplus. Did I put on more body fat than like the standard says, quote unquote? Possibly, but I need that to grow. So I don't think like an off season is like a one size fits all for everyone. It's everyone's gonna go through it differently. And as long as you're just training hard and eating good, like you'll make the improvements.
That's so good. And that mentality, I think, is really important because a lot of competitors get tripped up about weight gain or taking the time off because they're worried about their physique changing, adding more body fat, even though they say they want growth and they know that that's important to growth logically. There's an aspect of, I think a lot of competitors maybe put more value and respect on prep
Mm-hmm.
physique than on improvement season physique. You, however, you even gained like almost 50 pounds from your first stage weight to peak off season. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, and you didn't let that discomfort keep you from pushing for growth. So and I love that because you've obviously highlighted that you still are hitting meals, cardio training, you're making memories, so you're living life too, and you were executing day in and day out. And I think there's this weird association people have too with like gaining weight equals letting yourself go, when in reality, the mentality is I need to grow. That's gonna mean there's gonna be weight gain. So tell us more about how you've personally navigated things like the body image or pushing food up or the change of the physique that's inevitable.
For sure. And it's hard. Like I'm not gonna lie and say it's not hard. Do I want to go on vacations peak off season? Hell no. Like I do it every year though, and I enjoy it. But gaining the weight when I went through my first prep because before all this, I had a coach that put me at 700 calories. I was like 100 pounds, like in 2 months. I lost like 20 pounds and I didn't know any better. So I followed that diet for a year and a half and I was itty bitty. And it was hard for me to take the free meals. It was hard for me to want to gain weight. But I learned it wasn't healthy. And I learned the right way to like reverse out of that. And I was putting on the weight. And once I kind of learned that, like, this is all in your control. Just because you gain the weight doesn't mean it can't come off. A lot of the times you need it to be healthy. Like, everyone's set point's going to be different. Like, some girl can get her period and prep a week out. Not I. I lose that almost instantly because everyone's set point's different and how they can handle their leanness is so different. So for me, I might need a little bit higher of a body fat in order to feel good about myself anyways and live a high quality life. Plus, with eating more food, that's going to go into your training. You're going to be able to train harder. You're going to be able to be stronger. If you need to push the weight, yeah. And that's all going to go into your body to help recover, to help build that muscle again. And you get to do it all over again and go train hard and eat good. And I mean, honestly, I couldn't imagine not eating more than 2,000 calories in my like off season. That's hard for me to imagine. I'm like eating less than that in the off season. I'm like, no, there's no way I can do that. Because
Well, because
if
how do you train like
you
as hard
can't,
as
and
you do?
like also too, you're setting your calories up and maintenance higher. So when you prep, man, the lowest my calories got, lowest was like 1,400 calories, and that was like digging. Like I
Mm,
all I did in the beginning of my prep was I cut my free meals and I dropped 20 pounds in the beginning of my prep. And it
wow.
was insane. Like, but because I built the muscle from training hard and getting the food up, I was able to lose that so fast because I wasn't in such a restrictive state in my off season. All I did was pull free meals, and my body was like, okay, fat loss time, I guess. Like, sure, cardio is still in there, but it's so important to try to get your calories up as high as they can in your off season so prep isn't as miserable. Because if you're getting building fat off of like 1,500 calories, you have nothing to pull from. That's why, again, a reverse is so important. But going to the weight side of things, what do you think happens when you build muscle? You're going to gain weight. Like my 145
Right.
this year, I'm 5'2". My 145 this year, vastly different than last year. Like I look way leaner now. And I like the comparison photos for that reason. It's like, oh my God, I'm freaking out because I'm the heaviest I've ever been in my life. Well, guess what? My like 135 last year looked way worse than I do this year at 130, like 145. So if you need to make the improvements, you're gonna gain weight. It's inevitable. Like muscle still holds weight. But yeah, I once I learned like everything's just kind of either in my control of either losing fat or or gaining weight. It made that process that much easier. And it's for a reason. Like it's not just because like I'm just gonna get fat to get fat. Like I'm purposely increasing and putting weight on because I need to build the muscle in order to be competitive.
And I think some of the strongest points that you made it are that when you eat more, you're going to be able to put more into training. Like you're going to have more energy. Your mood's probably going to be better too, so you'll be more like excited about going in
Yeah,
versus potentially like trying to conserve energy, even if you don't think you are. Like there is some physiological level of energy conservation
for
happening
sure.
when you're not nourished. And you also mentioned that the weight is something that can come and it can go. And I think that's a really valuable point as well, because if we look at it like it's not changeable, or I'm gonna have to work really, really hard to get this off, and therefore I don't want to push it. But the whole point is if you put on more muscle mass, it's gonna make it easier. You get your food higher, it'll make it easier. And I have found in my journey, I wish I took more time off. I wish someone would have said, dude, don't compete for the next 3 years. Like, I really
Yeah.
wish someone told me that when I was early on in this, but it took learning. And it was after long growth seasons that I had the best preps and also the
Mhm.
best like comparisons. So, to your point, when you look at those side by sides, the weight can be higher, but the physique looks better. And you've
Mhm.
proven to yourself, like, okay, this is actually a worthwhile thing to do. Now, do you personally, like after a prep, well, maybe I should back up. Do you reverse into shows and then after a show, like, do you immediately raise calories or are you like slowly coming out of it? What's been your tactic?
So we'll feed up into a show, usually, around like that Wednesday leading up to the show, we'll start feeding up. And then for the reverse, it's slow increments. I found that, like, yes, it can go either way for people, but if you're really trying to like minimize as much fat gain as possible, making sure you're doing it at a slow rate because your body's used to like however many calories you're at the end of prep, like that's going to start to be its baseline. And if you just throw all the calories you're eating in your off season at it, it's like, hey, now I need to store this. So really making sure you're doing it like not super slow, but at like a moderate rate that you're minimizing the fat gain, but your calories are still getting up high is like the best way to do it, I found. Like, sure, it might take like an extra like month or so where you're still kind of in that prep calorie range, but it's so worth it because guess what? You're gonna be in your off season eating more than 2,000 calories most likely and maintaining a certain amount of leanness rather than okay, great, I'm stuck at 1,400 calories because I went off the rails post show or I went all the way back up to maintenance and now I can't eat more than 1,500 calories otherwise I'm gaining weight and fat, and it sucks to do it the slow way, but with anything, it's so much better. It's so much worth the wait just to do it right. So I've always found the slow way to be the best way.
I agree. And I think the only time that that maybe isn't worthwhile is if someone's constantly binge eating.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be better to take the average of their binges and increase daily intake than to be saddled with guilt and shame that a lot of people face from that. But otherwise, or maybe barring some health conditions and things like that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I think a slow approach is definitely optimal.
Yeah, for sure. I know it's hard, like post show, to like be like, oh, like I was in Cali after USA's.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie, say I was perfect post show. I was
Yeah.
not. I was enjoying Cali. I was celebrating. Like, there's some good food out in Cali. Was I 15 pounds post show? Hell yeah, I was. I was. I
And it
mean,
probably came up and down for the
it
next.
came right off that week, and I hit a brand new low after that week. So, not
Yeah.
saying do what I did.
Right.
If you mess up post show, it's okay. It will be
Exactly.
okay. It might take a little bit longer to work your calories up, but it will be okay. It's a learning experience for us all. Every year you compete, you learn something new.
Oh my gosh, yeah, this is my 10th year and I'm like, oh, new lessons.
Yeah.
Like, awesome. Especially now that I'm not planning to compete ever again. I'm like, well, this is like I went to take progress photos like on Tuesday. So last I competed a week ago in a day.
Yeah.
And I went to take progress photos last Tuesday, like right after the show, and I was like, do I pose? Like, do I still pose in these? And like, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do my posing routine. And then I was like, thinking about it and throughout this week, I'm like, I really need to set new intentions because every improvement season has been with, well, improvement season. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to improve for the next season. And now it's like for life and for hoping to build a family that I'm challenging some of those norms I previously existed in. So I'm
Yeah.
even learning new ways to navigate this. And I think that that's one of the cooler things about bodybuilding too, is because our body is expected to keep evolving in life in general, and then you add bodybuilding on top of that where you're literally manipulating those changes, You are always meeting a new version of yourself.
every year. You mature every year as an athlete, as a person. Like the things that are like, oh, this was good. Like that last off season was good. No, maybe it could have been better. And every year you evolve mentally, physically as a competitor, and it translates also into other areas of your life. And it's a wonderful sport for that reason. You really have to mature because if you're
Oh,
not, it's very hard because you're gonna want to do things that that doesn't fit the bodybuilding realm. But yeah, every year it's a constant. You meet a new you, and I think that's one of the most beautiful things of the sport is every year it's like it clicks. You are like, oh, like one day you wake up and you're like, oh, this is actually 10 times better.
yeah.
And you learn to take emotions out of things sometimes. Like, for example, I had a really hard time. Like, Mike, yes, he coaches, but he doesn't bodybuild. That's not his thing. He's never stepped on stage and he's a great coach.
Mhm.
And, for free meals, like, he's going to order what he wants because he just trains for fun and he coaches. And it was hard for me to separate that of like what's a smart free meal versus what's a not a smart free meal. And this year it finally clicked because I was like, oh, well, I don't want to like miss out on date night. Like I'm gonna eat the appetizers and the desserts and the entree I want. And now I'm in a huge surplus versus like I'm still going out and spending time with my friends and my fiance or whatever it is, but I'm still aligning it with my goals. So that was something I learned this year. And it's like,
Man,
yeah, I had to take the emotions out of things sometimes.
yeah,
So
you're
yeah,
so right. Like
it
maybe
really
some
involves.
nights it's I'll have the appetizer, entree, and dessert, and other nights it's I'm like really in the mood for just this dessert, or I'm really in the mood
Yeah,
for like this go-to meal that I know is going to sit well with me. Like I think it's when we remove that going back to the pressure point, like if we remove the emotions attached to it and instead we see it as like an opportunity to learn and grow versus like
yeah,
trying to force the lessons, um, really helps. And no, I think it's a good time to talk about your relationship and how having
sure.
your fiance coach you has impacted it. Like, how do you guys actually navigate the athlete coach line versus partner dynamic when it comes
Yeah.
to like communication, feedback, tough preps?
So this was our first prep together.
Okay.
So this was a big learning curve. And I mean, I heard all the time, I don't know how you guys do it. It's actually a lot simpler. One, I think if you respect your partner as a coach from the start. If you like, I watched Mike do his thing, and it's amazing to me. I've never seen a coach put as much care into their clients as he does. And that's what really made me respect him off the start was I just watched him how he was with his other clients. I'm like, yeah, like that's a coach to me. So that's what really made me respect it from the start was I knew how to switch that coach and boyfriend at that time on and off. But there were some bumpy paths as always, like first off, everything we do separated, coaching, WhatsApp, life,
Mhm.
iMessage. If I even bothered asking him a question on iMessage, he's like, I don't know, ask your coach. And I have to go WhatsApp and ask him my same question. And he'll respond back as a coach.
So he
My
holds that boundary too.
Oh, he holds it very well. And so the one thing we struggled with was the verbal communication. So we'll be at home, in the morning, and I didn't know whether some talks were boyfriend talks or some talks were coach talks. So we found out a way that 30 minutes in the morning, or if he says, all right, this is coach talking, I knew to switch that like that 30 minutes in the morning after the check-ins, that was coach time, coach client. And then 30 minutes in the evening, coach time. And that was it. There's no talks about preps in between, no talk about competing, no anything in between.
Hmm.
Just whenever he was like, all right, coach time, I knew that that was me being a client. And it really changed how I view competing as well, because I always viewed it as like, this is me, 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 me. I'm doing this for me, but it made me want it more for him. Like turning pro wasn't only just for me in that moment. It was like, no, like I want to win because I want him to win. Like I want to give him something. Like he's so proud of whatever I'm putting in. Like I want him to be proud of me. Like I want this more for him than I do for myself at this point. And that's what really helped me like just nail my prep. Like I was like this, I'm doing this for him. Like I'm not even doing this for myself as much as I'm doing it for him. And it just made the moments that much sweeter because I shared it with him. And just like he couldn't be backstage with me at USA's because the backstage pass is crazy expensive,
Oh yeah.
not gonna lie. And so I was back there by myself, but just like it calmed me knowing that like I was like, okay, like this is all for him. And he'll text me and he's like, let's go get this baby. Like we got this. And like I mean, like even my phone background is this picture, but it's just made everything that much sweeter that like I
Mm.
didn't care about, like if there's a something that he did that I didn't do. Plus, I respect the game. He knows the game. And I respect competing enough that I know that what he is doing is the right way to do it. It's not like he's doing it to be like mean or oh he pulled my food or increased cardio because like whatever it is.
Because
It's
we
like
got in a fight and he's punished
yeah.
me.
Like there never was that fight of like, well, even with training, like sure, I'll butt head of a little bit if like he's correcting my form. But other than that, it's like he knows what he's doing. I respect him and I respect him as a coach. I respect him as a partner. And that's just what it is at the end of the day. It's just that respect that matters so much if your fiance or partner is coaching you is you have to respect them as the coach first. Otherwise, you're just always going to be like fighting them on every little thing. But the moments are so sweet when you do achieve them with them. It's awesome.
That's so amazing. Like I think that those are really great points because I'm sure there are some people listening who either are in that position or are considering it. Um, and that could be a challenging dynamic to navigate in. And I've had other couples on or people who are in a relationship like this, and they've had different insight, but that one thing is always true is there has to be a separation.
Always.
And the thing that strikes me is like, so my husband's not in this industry at all. Now,
Yeah.
he would be like, "You're done dieting." Like that would have been at like 135, 140. He's like, "I like the juicy booty. I like the
Yeah.
like you're
He's
done,
like, damn, girl, you look great.
Yeah, you're ready." And I would never get on stage as a result of that.
Yeah.
So the respect thing makes sense. But also, as far as like the communication goes and as far as like the expectations, something that's always struck me is they are not just sacrificing as your partner, like, okay, yeah, our date nights might look different and these things are going to change, but they're actually choosing that with you. Like,
Yeah.
he's saying, okay, yeah, like she's not where she needs to be. This is our next natural step. And that also means I'm now giving up. But so he has to be selfless enough to
For
say, well, she
sure.
wants this and this is
And
what's required.
he's never prepped before. He's never competed, never done anything like that. So I was his closest experience to his first prep ever. And that was also a learning curve for him. He's a coach. He's done hundreds of preps. He knows what to expect from a prep, but the first hand experience it is completely different. Like post show. Okay, show's done. Now he's kind of like, oh, you're back to normal. Yeah, I'm still like my body's still recovering for like the next like 8, 16 weeks. Like it's not just a bounce back. So that was also as a coach a learning lesson for him. And it also helps him as a coach because now he's like, oh, I truly get like what my clients are feeling after. And so I know for him, like he learned from that as well. So it was also a learning experience for him. And was it rocky at times, especially near the end? Yeah, it was. Like we were both navigating that because how he didn't know those feelings I was feeling. And to teach him, like, hey, like this is how I'm feeling was something he had to learn. But we both grew together from it. It's like, okay, like now our relationships to another degree, and now our preps are going to be even better because he now knows.
That's really awesome. And that takes courage on your part too to be able to communicate with him as your partner and be like, okay, like I'm feeling this desire to have more freedom and flexibility, but also I know I can't. And he has to be willing to be like, I would love to give you more freedom and flexibility. We should, but also I know he can't.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean I couldn't picture myself with anyone else as a coach, honestly. Like it will always just be him.
Oh, I love that. And how did you guys meet?
Oh my God, this is a funny story. So we're originally from, we both moved to Tampa around the same time. I was
Okay.
working at the front desk there, and like I was personal trainer at the gym we're at. And this Stairmaster is notorious for breaking down. Like it's like I knew it's broken from the get-go. And he comes up and I see him get on it. I'm like, yeah, like he's gonna tell me that it's broken. And sure enough, he comes down, he's like, hey, excuse me, like the Stairmaster's broken. I was like, you broke my Stairmaster? I was giving him shit for it because I was like, what else am I gonna do? I'm
Yeah.
bored right now. And he was like, no, 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 I swear I didn't. I was like, "Ah, dude, like you are making me work and fix this. Like just giving him shit for it. And then
Did you think he was cute? Like, were you trying to flirt?
so I remember sitting down, like, yes, technically I was flirting. I remember sitting back down in my chair, and the first immediate thought, because I looked back at him when he was on the stairs, I was like, I just knew he was going to be in my life. And I said it. I was like, this boy's going to be in my life. Like, I said it underneath my breath. I was like, this boy will be in my life. And sure enough, here we are. And yeah, we always joke. I'm like, we should just buy that Stairmaster. Like that should
Oh.
just be at our wedding. Is like this is the one we met on. Like,
You like
it's
climb it together and put your rings.
like holy matrimony. I'm like on the top of the Stairmaster. Like that was just how we met, and yeah, like been history since then.
Awesome. I love that so much. And you have made some posts talking about wanting kids and saying you would tell them this story about the Stairmaster.
For sure,
So,
he made me want to have kids. I was like really
okay.
against it. I was like,
Really?
oh, I did not want kids. I've said since I was like 10 years old, I was like, I'm not gonna have kids. Like that's just not what I want. Like, like at least not until like maybe I felt ready. But like even
Mhm.
then, like it was very hard for me to feel maternal. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, it was just because of that tomboy side I had, or I've worked with kids with coaching hockey. Like I love working with kids. I didn't want my
Mhm.
own. I was like, I'll be like the fun aunt. I'll be the cool badass aunt. But he made me like want kids, which was
Hmm.
something I never really thought I would say. But like I don't think if it was with anyone else, I would want them. But he makes me want kids just because like I see how he is with kids, and I'm like, yeah, like that he'd be a good dad. And then like,
Mm.
I want a family with you. So yeah, I'll tell that story for sure to the kids.
Aw, I think that's so cute and special. Like, yeah, I think that's one of the ways you can really know is you found your partner
Yeah.
because you want to build something with them and you can see that in your future. So I'm going to press this a little bit just because you're so open. If you could like write the future how you wanted it, because I know you've boldly claimed you also want to make it to the Olympia and be among the Olympians and all these things, but how would your future look when it comes to like work and kids and marriage and Olympia?
Yeah, so I mean like ultimately like at least in my 20s, I want to make it to Olympia. Like I don't even care. Like, yes, I want a place. Like top five. I don't care if we miss Olympia. Like if that happens, like yeah, like no, that is what I want. I want to be a Miss Olympia. I can't even lie and say I don't to try to be humble. Like
Yeah.
I want that. Like that is what I want. And I think that's just what I really want to focus. I'm 23. I'm a baby still
Hmm.
in the
Hmm.
sport. So I have so much time to achieve that I'm like, okay, like I want to wait until I think my end cap is going to be 29, 20 like
Mm.
30. Because
Hmm.
at that rate, I'd be in the sport for 10 years, like that gives me 7 years of being in the pro league. If I want to go more, absolutely, I will. But I will want around that 29, 30 range to have kids and then maybe come back to the sport after that. I'll know when I feel ready to retire. But to have a break to have kids in a family, I think is that 29, 30 range for me. For me personally, if I hear the word 20 and kids, it just doesn't sit right with me. I'm like, no, 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 I'm still a baby. I'm still a baby if I hear 20. I don't care if it's 29, I'm still a baby. But I think that's like where I want kids career wise. Mike's really big on like he wants to open something. Coaching for him isn't long term. He wants to open anything like a med spa, gym, whatever it is, something that he can pass down to kids later down the line. That's what he wants because he always says if I die tomorrow, my business ends. There's nothing to pass down. So we'll be working kind of like a family business like that in a way, or like something that like bodybuilding be like my full-time career, but like I still want to work or do something part-time. Like I'll have that to work like the whatever we open. So for career wise, I think that's where we'll be in like the next like 5 years. Um, and after that, I want to be able to come home one day and be like, hey, we're gonna be making penne al vodka for dinner tonight. I don't care how many servings I put on my damn plate. I'm gonna enjoy this. So I think that's like my end goal is like to come home and be like, we're gonna have chicken parm and not give a fuck about tracking it or anything. So that's like my like 15-year plan, I
I
guess.
love that. Girl, by then you'll be able to handle like 5,000 calories a day
Yeah.
anyway.
I'll be like, we are going, like, I'll be taking vacations. I'll be traveling way more than like I am now. Like, I want to travel. And like, yeah, bodybuilding does put a little bit of a block in that. But
Oh yeah.
by the time I'm like 32, I think I'll be like that stage of like penny alla vodka for dinner. I'm going to Italy or France or whatever it is and just
Uh,
living a fun little prime 30s life.
for sure. I think that's so awesome. And it would be really cool for you in like 10 years to watch this.
Yeah, for sure. See how if it lined up, if it didn't, who knows? But it'd be still. I know one way or another, I'm gonna be having penny and vodka for dinner. So
That is the truth. You're gonna listen to this while eating that pasta.
I'll be like, oh yeah, that shit came true.
That's so amazing. See, like I feel like there was this 18-year-old version of me who got into competing and never could have imagined being this version of me now, like actually like hanging up the heels, you know?
Yeah,
Like I knew it would happen, but I didn't know it would happen. I always said, well, I'll probably compete till I'm 50 or whatever, but I thought, I'll have kids in between and maybe that's true. Maybe I'll return. But like I'm in that phase that you're describing where I'm ready to have more of that flexibility, more
yeah,
of that freedom. And what's so cool about bodybuilding is, and you can relate to this, but I wouldn't do it, I wouldn't have done it for 10 years, and you wouldn't do it for 10 years if you didn't love the lifestyle. So everything that it's given me and everything it's given you and continues to give you is only gonna, as you said earlier, impact all these other areas of your life
yeah,
positively
yeah, for sure.
or
And it's like,
positively.
yes, pastas. I can't say it, but I mean, like, I know some people can say they can compete in their 50s. Honestly, I don't want to. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know I want to compete, but I'm like 35. Like,
Yeah.
it's been so much of my life right now, but like
Mhm.
again, like if you look at your timeline of life, it's like literally like
Yes.
this big. It's so small compared to everything else. And I felt like if I just extended that to its 50, it's like I know in some way, shape, or form, like my kids won't be happy with it later on.
Exactly.
Or, like if like God forbid, like there's like a funeral or whatever it is, it's like wedding. Like I want to enjoy all those moments. I want to like go travel. Like I always say it's such a short amount of time in your life. And I don't know if I could see myself competing that old, honestly. Like I know there's so many masters women's and God bless you, you are the best athletes out there. I don't know how you guys do it. And honestly, you come in way more conditioned than 99% of those people do because you gotta be peeled at a masters. But I personally for me, I don't know if I can do it that long.
I feel the same way, but also like we both started really young, like right
Yeah,
away. And some people have questioned, like they keep saying to me, you'll come back, you'll probably come back. And I'm like, I'm telling you, it will take the good Lord calling me back to the stage for me to get back up there. Like I, the beautiful thing is when you get to choose to walk away from something, that is so much better than being forced to walk away.
for sure. And like I'll know when I'm ready. Like I
Hmm.
say around 30, I know when I'll be ready to be like, you know what? I've achieved all I could. And like it's it's almost like if I'm at the top, it's like, why keep pushing it when I could end on a bad note? Or, like if I never make it to the Olympia or I'm always a last call out and like no room for improvement from there, it's like, you know what, like maybe I'll do this for fun, but I also like want to enjoy life at that rate, It's like
Hmm.
you'll know when you're ready to like, all right, I feel good to end it here.
Yep, exactly. You will know. And it's similar to like how you know when it's time to prep and how you know when it's time to go into an improvement season. Like there's these signs and signals that you're responsive to, and it'll be very similar to that.
For sure.
So I gotta ask you now,
Yeah.
what is your best advice for someone who has never competed before but wants to? And then your best advice for somebody who's on their road to pro?
This can go for both, but take the time. Honestly, that's like my biggest advocate for everything. Like, do I wish I took more time before my first show? Hell yeah, I did. I look like a little string bean up there. Could I have been more, maybe more competitive if I took another year to properly do it right? Absolutely. Um, but just take the time. The stage will always be there. I always say, like, the best things in life are marinated. A nice steak, the
Mm.
longer it's marinated, the better it tastes, right? It's like
Mm.
same thing with your body, just letting it grow. Take the time. It will always be there. I know. I get the FOMO too. I'm seeing all the girls competing right now. Girls I turned pro with, girls that turned pros at other shows the same year I did. They're all doing their debut. I'm like, damn, like, oh, I want to compete. No, it's going to be so much better if you take the time, do it right, and grow into it. For a first time competitor, please do your homework on coaches. That's the best thing I could say because my first coach screwed me over. And I wish I took more time into researching good coaches. Like ask girls their experience. Like don't treat it as dating, right? It's like you're not gonna go with the first guy you met. Like take the time, consult with other people, ask experiences, really just make sure you're setting yourself up right with a good coach because it will make or break your competing experience and your hormones. So make sure you're set. And then the girls turning pro, again, take the time as needed. It will always be there. Don't get the FOMO. Just know that, yes, other people are competing, but you're on your path for a reason. So just keep on going. It gets hard. I get it, but just keep on building and take the time. You'll never regret taking more time off.
Beautifully said, and such a great summary of your journey and everything you've shared with us. So, where can listeners connect with you, learn more about posing with you, and follow your journey?
I'm always active on Instagram, honestly. Gemma Nanista, that's my one and only account. But that's where I'm very open and honest with everything. I try to be as transparent as possible with everything on my Instagram. So the ups and downs, they're all there. They'll always be posted. So that's
Love.
where most people can connect with me.
That was one of the most exciting things for me about wanting to interview and getting to interview you was that you are so open and you're willing to be open. And I think that creates openness in others. So thank you for joining me today.
God, thank you so much for having me. It's the best time.
Good. You're so welcome. You were amazing. And to everybody listening, I hope that you guys will tag us as you listen. Let us know what you thought. And feel free to reach out and share further questions. I mean, Jem is obviously very open and probably love to chat and connect with you guys more. And my only regret is we're not talking even longer. I feel like
Yeah,
we
I
could
could
talk.
feel like I could talk for like 3 hours. I'm a
I
yapper.
I know. I just heard my dog bark downstairs and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's like already 6:30. Oh my God."
I know I went by
So,
so fast.
yeah, it did. It really did. And I'm grateful for everything we talked about today. And thank you all for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, night, or morning, wherever you are in the world while you're listening to this episode. Just make it awesome.